現在我哋有請
We'll now invite the CE-elect Mr. John Lee to take to the stage to make his speech. First of all, let me thank you all reporters for your attendance today at the Central Government office for this press conference. Today is Father's Day. I'd like to take this opportunity to say to you all, as well as Hong Kong people, that I wish you all a happy Father's Day. People of Hong Kong, this morning the Central People's Government announced the appointment of principal officials of the 6th term of the Hong Kong SAR. I heartily thank the CPG for accepting and approving the 26 nominations made by me. I'd also like to thank the CPG for their trust in me and the support for me and my governing team. The 26 principal officials appointed will form the governing team of the 6th term of the government. They include 21 principal officials under the political appointment system and 5 principal officials that are non-politically appointed. Of the 21 principal officials, 7 of them are incumbent government officials, including 6 secretaries of department or director bureaus, as well as permanent secretaries. There are also some that have been promoted to secretaries of department, and there are also 6 incumbent or just retired civil servants. They came from the administrative grade as well as the professional grade. There are 6 that join us for the first time. They account for about 30% of the members of my team. They are Senior Counsel Mr. Paul Lam, Solicitor Mr. Horace Zhang, Mr. Ajulon Yao, Professor Lo Chung Mao, Professor Sun Dong, as well as Ms. Alice Mack. In their own expertise, they have rich experience and enjoy prestigious status. They also have extensive network. They have good recognition and very effective implementation power. There are 5 principal officials that are not under the political appointment system. They are the just retired Mr. Wu Yingming, who is the Commissioner for the ICAC, and 3 Head of Discipline Services, namely Police Commissioner Mr. Raymond Siu, Mr. Ao Ga-wen, Director of Immigration, as well as Customs and Excise Commissioner Ms. Louise Ho, on top of the Director of Audit, Ms. Professor Nelson Lam. There are 1/4 of the members who are ladies, which is the highest percentage. And there are also 7 members who've joined us from outside the government, of which 4 are legislative members. They will have to resign from their post as legislators. My team covers people from different backgrounds, including incumbent government officials with rich experience in our political system, with experienced civil servants, experts from outside the government, as well as personnel with extensive community network. I have a team that is pluralistic, united, and effective in their executive power. We share the same ideology. We highly value team spirit. We will work together to resolve problems. We will sincerely listen, communicate, and reach out to members of the public. We will be pragmatic. We will make things work. We will find solutions for you. will feel your pulse. We will work with you to take Hong Kong to a new level, to a brighter future. Lastly, I'd like to thank the incumbent Chief Executive, Mrs. Carrie Lam. I thank her for her arrangements in the transitional work of change of governments. I'd like also to thank everyone in the existing governing team for their hard work to serve Hong Kong. I've been working with them for close to 5 years. We've met many different challenges. We share the same spirit. We have shared the same team spirit. I might not be able to work with them in the 6th term of the government. I would like to thank them and also hope that they will continue to contribute to our society in their different roles, including advisory bodies as well as public bodies of the government. We are still very good teammates. You are my mentor and my good friends. In the coming 5 years, it is the critical time where Hong Kong will move from chaos to stability to prosperity. We will ride out the storms. We will fight the difficulties and take Hong Kong to a brighter future by leveraging on our advantages. I'll now speak in English.
Wow. Fellow citizens, the Central People's Government, CPG, announced this morning the appointment of the principal officials of the 6th term government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the CPG for accepting and approving the nomination made by me in accordance with the Basic Law. I would also like to thank the CPG for the trust in and support for me and my governing team. These 26 appointed principal officials, comprising 21 politically accountable and 5 non-politically accountable officials, will form my governing team. Amongst the 21 politically accountable officials, 7 are officials from the current term government, including 6 secretaries of departments or directors of bureaus and the director of the CE office. 2 are currently undersecretaries. 6 are serving civil servants or just retired ones, including permanent secretaries and heads of department coming from the administrative officer grade or professional grades. 6 are newly joining the government, accounting for about 30% of my team. They include Senior Counsel Paul Lam Ting Kwok, Solicitor Zhang Kwok Kwan, Mr. Algernon Yao Yinghua, Professor Lo Chong Mao, Professor Sun Dong, and Ms. Alice Mack. They respectively have a wealth of professional knowledge and a vast network in their respective fields. They are action people well recognized by their peers. The 5 non-politically accountable principal officials are the Commissioner of the ICAC, Mr. Wu Yingming, former Commissioner of the Correctional Services, who just retired. The Director of Audit, Professor Nelson Lam Ji-yun, a chartered accountant and also a member of the Legislative Council, joining the government for the first time. The current heads of 3 discipline services, namely the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Siu Jia-yi, the Director of Immigration, Mr. Ao Ga-wang, and the Commissioner of Customs and Excise, Mr. Louis Ho Pui-san, who are civil servants. Among the 26 principal officials, 6 are female, which is about a quarter of the team, the ratio being the highest government ever. We have a total 7 newcomers from outside the government, 4 of whom are members of the Legislative Council. They will resign from their legislative duties. My team covers a diverse range of backgrounds, including current government officials with experience in political accountability, civil servants with extensive public administrative experience, professionals from outside the government, and persons with relevant sectoral and district networks. This team is united and loyal, and we share the same ideal of governance. We will be result-oriented, with emphasis on team spirit and execution. My team and I will reach out, listen to, and communicate with the public with sincerity. We will be proactive in winning the trust of the people and make policies that meet with demands. We are committed to serving the aspirations and concerns of the people, enhancing efficiency and effectiveness of the administration. Together, we will build a better Hong Kong. Last but not the least, I wish to express my gratitude to the incumbent Chief Executive, Mrs. Carrie Lam, for the work done during the transition into the new term government. I also wish to thank all the incumbents in the current term government. They have served the people of Hong Kong with utmost sincerity and stamina. I have worked with them for almost 5 years, and we went through different difficulties and challenges, through which we have developed mutual support and respect. While it may not be possible to continue to walk the path ahead with each one of them, apart from expressing my gratitude, I also hope that they will continue to serve Hong Kong in different capacities, including on advisory committees and boards or in public organizations. We remain partners, and you, my mentors. The next 5 years will be a crucial time for Hong Kong to advance from stability to prosperity. My team and I will rise to the challenges, leading Hong Kong and making good use of the unique advantages under the one country system to start a new chapter for Hong Kong together. Thank you.
Before I answer questions, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you that on the 1st of July, we will have a new director for CE's office, Ms. Carol Yip. Please come to the stage. I myself, with Carol, have known each other for over 10 years. We've been working well all the way. She is a rare talent with extensive network. She's very kind, sincere, and honest. We can supplement one another's abilities. I thank her for accepting this new challenge. We'll hear a few words from Carol. Thank you, Chief Executive, for your kind words. Friends from the media, members of the Hong Kong public. First of all, I would like to thank the CE-elect for his appointment of the Director of CE's office. I have the opportunity to work with the political appointed team to make contributions to Hong Kong. I've been working in the government for 35 years. My work serves as a witness of the development of Hong Kong at different stages. My work covered arrangements of the reunification, implementation of the basic law, promotion in relation to the new airport, as well as OECD, as well as WTO negotiations, as well as social welfare, as well as security affairs. Being appointed as the director of the CE's office, I would like to support the chief executive in 3 ways. First, I would leverage on my experience of public administration of over 30 years to give the chief executive my full support for efficient governance. Secondly, I'd like to help and assist the chief executive for connecting with different quarters of society. I come across as a very honest and sincere person. I hope that I would use this same attitude to establish rapport, trust, and cooperation with the different stratum in society. And I'd also like to assist the chief executive in leading the committed and very conscientious principal officials team. We've been working for a very long time. I hope that we will all work towards the same goal to serve Hong Kong. As the CE-elect said, we've known one another for a very long time. We've been working very closely for equally the same time. The chief executive-elect is a committed person with vision who values team spirits. He is a leader. He is willing to listen to different voices. As I said, that we've always had candid discussions in work, and I thank him for his complete trust in me. Looking forward, I hope that I will be able to assist the chief executive in a dedicated way to take Hong Kong to a new chapter from stability to prosperity. We want to work together for a better life for Hong Kong people and to create a better home for Hong Kong people. And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all Happy Father's Day. I'm sure that there are lots of fathers among here. And I also wish this good father a Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. We'll now open the floor for questions. If you'd like to ask questions, please raise your hand. After you've been selected, use the microphone we give you. Identify your media outlet. Please keep your questions succinct and limit the number of questions to 1. On the right, the first gentleman in the middle. Good afternoon. I'm from CCTV. I'd like to ask. On the list of the principal officials, we see people from different capacities and backgrounds. This is a pluralistic team. How do you think it will help with the governance? And in this critical time of stability, moving on to prosperity, what expectations do you have of these principal officials? My team, indeed, come from a pluralistic and diversified background, as I've said. This enables us to consider different views from different angles and perspectives. We'll have the knowledge required for us to see the whole picture and to be mindful of various important factors so that we can make better decisions. The second point is that it's exactly because of the diversified background of my team, they can reach out to different sectors and different quarters. When we explain and implement our policies, we will be able to do better by making use of their networks. So our policies formulated will be more efficient, and Hong Kong people will get a better understanding of our policies. Well, we start a new chapter for Hong Kong. We do it together, not just for the Hong Kong government, but for the whole of society as well. The gentleman in white in the middle. I'm from RTHK. Why would you choose Mr. Eric Chan as the CS4A? What are your considerations? Including you yourself, that means there are 4 officials from the discipline services, including 2 secretary, 2 bureau directors. Does it mean that you want to send out the message that national security is our priority? The number 1 and number 2 of the government are on the sanction list of overseas countries. Would you ask for these countries to lift the sanctions? If not, will it have a negative impact on your promotion of Hong Kong after the epidemic? My invitation to Mr. Eric Chen to be the CS4A is a result of our consideration of his rich experience in public administration, as well as the extensive scope of work covered as the director of CE's office. The CS4A designate has a very good personal network. This will go a long way in policy implementation. He is a very careful person who considers everything. My philosophy is result-oriented, so his work is invaluable to me. I thank Mr. Eric Chen for accepting the invitation, for taking up the challenge. But I can tell you that we have a lot of challenges waiting for us. In our discussion, he gives me the confidence that he will give us his best, regardless of the difficulties. Well, the persons you've described have been serving in the current government for quite some time. They will just continue to stay on. When I consider nominations, I consider their competence, their expertise, and their experience. Different people with different backgrounds will have different advantages. I have a diversified team. I hope to achieve synergy. Of course, national security is a duty and obligation of every single Chinese person. It's our natural duty to safeguard national security, and that is something that each government will have to seriously implement. Hegemonic countries make use of these so-called sanctions to scare SAR government officials. Well, their plans to undermine our national security were foiled. It gives us more confidence to take up our duty to safeguard national security. I slight these sanctions, and I don't care about these sanctions. I myself and my team share the same goal. We will shoulder our responsibilities towards our country. We have to safeguard the sovereignty, security, as well as development interests of our country. As a Chinese, these are our natural duties and obligations.
左手邊。
A lady in white at the back, please.
South China Morning Post. In total, there are 4 lawmakers being appointed to the key roles. Does it reflect a shortage of political talents in the pool and they have no experience in the government? Why did you think the 4 lawmakers were qualified for this role? And have you passed the list to the National Security Department for review before submitting it to Beijing? Thanks.
Well, I think the invitation of the 4 legislative council members into the government is a reflection of the strengths and experiences that I'm bringing into this governing team. Well, Hong Kong have a lot of talents, have a lot of committed people who want to serve Hong Kong. But in my selection of people, then of course I want them to come from various backgrounds so that, as I have explained earlier, we can gather as much as possible experiences, angles, and strengths from different sectors. The Legislative Council members that I've invited into the governing team all have their strengths, experiences, and also the strong will to serve Hong Kong well. And what is also very important is that they share the same ideal of governance. They will be result-oriented, they will be strong on team spirit, and strong on execution. My selection of officials are my own ideas, and of course there will be the necessary procedure to go through in accordance with the law, in accordance with the normal procedures. They have all been so conducted.
下一位提問。
Next question. Gentleman in grey, in front to the right, please. Mr. Lee, Now TV. There are so many people in the governing team. Did you contact them all and rope them all in? Was there input from the central authorities? Any candidates for you to choose from? Is this team represented best team in your mind? There are so many officials who failed to transition to the new team. Some said that they're trying to get rid of all the protégé of Mrs. Carrie Lam. You said you see them as good mentors. I mean, is the case that some of them do not measure up to your requirements? I think that's about it. In the new team, are you going to be trying to be conciliatory? Well, anybody who's trying to create their own theories to attract attention is not my business. When there is a new term of administration, there will definitely be officials transitioning to the new team, and some are not transitioning to the new team. Every time there is a change of government, and this is something that would happen. It is a natural phenomenon. As I said, for the officials in this current term, I've been working with them for the past 5 years. We did have a good sense of camaraderie. We did face a lot of challenges and difficulties. We worked as a team, and they're always my mentors. And I say this with sincerity, and I hope that they will, in their respective capacities, continue to serve the people of Hong Kong. The officials that I selected are my choice. When I communicated with the mainland, of course, there are some directions that we discussed. I was reminded that I should rope in as diverse a team as possible. We should have a common policy vision, because that will enable us to be united, and we can do more with less. I believe, and I'm glad that I am able to find a team that will enable us to deliver results. This, I am really pleased. I'm always grateful to them. We rise to the challenges, and every time I meet them, they strike me as really passionate and committed, and they really want to hit the ground running, and they want to really win public confidence, that they are very, very committed and passionate. There are always diverse views in the community. I would try to secure public trust with action, and I will take action to narrow the differences. We are prepared to reach out and listen, and we will be explaining the policy visions to the members of the public. So in our interaction, I'm sure that you will feel our sincerity, and you will know that there is going to be something to show for it, and that will narrow the differences. As we build up our achievements, I'm sure that we can build good consensus and we can stay united. Any further questions in English? Lady in white at black, please.
Hi, Mr. Lee, RTHK. You promised to speak to the public, communicate with the public, with your cabinet. Now you've been taking exclusive interviews with the likes of Wan Weipo, Xinhua, Ta Kung Pao. Is that the main means you're going to use, and press conferences to speak to the public? Or how are you and your cabinet members going to communicate with the public? Will you be going down to the community to speak to them and handle different public opinions? Thank you.
Can you repeat the first part of your premise? Because I don't want to not to pay attention to it as if
you've been
I agree with it.
How will you and your cabinet members be communicating with the public? Especially earlier, we've been seeing you taking exclusive media interviews with the likes of Wan Weipo, the likes of Ta Kung Pao, and state media. So how will you and your officials be communicating with the public going forward? Thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I wouldn't think it will be a good way of treating media with differentiation. I will take that when I talk to a particular media organization, through it, I'll be talking to everybody in Hong Kong and the world. So I try to think along that way, and I hope everyone will think along that way. The second thing is, I have mentioned in my earlier statement that we will be making contact with people. We'll be going out to do business, and we will be trying to communicate as much as possible with different sectors of the community. That is something we will do, and you will see it happen. And of course, we will be doing it in the way that the district would like to happen, because different districts have different problems and different issues, and we will be communicating with the district personnel who know the area, so that we will be sending the officers that will be answering to the needs and the wishes of the district people. And of course, talking to the media is another way of communicating with the public. But what is important is, as I've already mentioned in my manifesto, I will be creating teams, volunteers in the 18 districts, and I will be sincerely hope that the teams I will be creating in the 18 districts will work hand in hand with the government, so that we go to the people who has their aspirations and needs that want to be heard by the government. That is what we will do, and we will do it sincerely.
好，我哋剔多最後手邊前。
Last question. The gentleman in the white shirt at the front. I'm from TVB. First of all, your team made up of quite a number of civil servants. Are you trying to send out a message that that you're not using a disciplined service team? However, when it comes to civil servants, they attach a lot of importance to procedure. How can they help you to implement your result-oriented ideology? Very often, people are bound by their inherent understanding of a situation. When I consider my new team, I did not think much about what grade they're from. I mainly consider whether they have relevant experience in their line of work, whether they have the knowledge and the ability. Most of my team, well, 7 of them are incumbent government officials, 2 are promoted from undersecretaries. That means 9 will continue to work within the government. I think they will contribute a lot towards the 6th term of the government. And you can see that we also recruit people from outside the government. There are 6 members that will join us for the first time, which is 30%. Procedure itself is important. But procedures are created by administration as well as by the law. Of course, we will go through the procedure. However, when it comes to redundant procedures or outdated ones, we will improve them so that our work will be more efficient and effective in order to benefit members of the public. And that, I'm sure, is something that everyone wants to see. So you need to look at procedure and result together. Of course, when it comes to legal procedures, we have to deal with it. I emphasize on being result-oriented because I would like to expeditiously resolve long-standing problems. Say, for example, land and housing. There are onerous procedures. How can we streamline them? Of course, when there is procedure in place, we will go through them. However, if these procedures are outdated and obsolete, then we will not just go through the motion without considering the result. I'm sure the public would like to see results. And that's why I propose result orientation in my manifesto, and I think my team will support that as well. Lastly, Happy Father's Day. Thank you, CE-elect. This is the end of the first session. Principal officials as well as DC-elect will leave this venue. In a few minutes, we'll start the second session. Thank you very much.